Push P. Yeah, push P. Turn me up. Turn me up, P. Corners in the paddock, get my piece. Push P. Cop new hammers for my P. We don't want
What's so bright at the twilight's last gleaming, and the rock is rattling, bubbles bursting here. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of
Hello to my beautiful brothers and sisters of YouTube. This is Cree, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. And as always and forever, Mama truly do appreciate you. So, I want to talk about Brian McKnight and give my sincerest condolences to his family. If you all are not aware, Brian McKnight has recently lost his son, Niko McKnight. He recently passed away from colon cancer at the age of 32 years old. And this is a really, really sad story. And that's mainly because Brian was estranged from Niko and from their other son, BJ, Brian McKnight Jr. And there's been an ongoing back and forth beef between Brian and his sons, and this has been going on for years. And in the years that's followed, Brian McKnight has moved on, remarried, and adopted his new wife's kids, and then he got a whole new family and just kind of, what they say, the internet say, he abandoned his old family, his older kids, his biological kids. And as far as we know, as far as we as the general public know, they never resolved their issues. And so Brian has now lost his son before he's really had the chance to make things right. I have a bit of a soft spot for this topic with Brian McKnight because Brian McKnight was actually the very first video I've ever done. And in that first video, I did talk about his, I went into like the whole deep dive and the backstory about Brian McKnight's life, how he came up and how things were with his family, with his wife and his kids, and just kind of talked about a series of events of everything that led up to where they are now, to where they were no longer speaking to each other. And one of the things that I mentioned in that video is that I hope and prayed that they were all able to, get it together and make things right with each other before it was too late. And from the way that it's possibly looking, I don't think that ever happened. Now, I do remember Brian McKnight mentioning maybe about a year ago in one of his video rants about his son Niko currently taking chemo for cancer. And like I said, this was about a year ago, and he did mention that he has been there, or that he tried to be there because, he been getting dragged and canceled, for these last few years about his relationship with his kids and how he's denounced them and disowned them. But he did say that, since my son has been sick, I've been there every step of the way.
Hey everybody, we are still here in London, riding high after the concerts this weekend with Boyz II Men, and we are so grateful for all of the love. I wanted to take a few moments to talk about something that I'd already addressed 6 months ago, but I hesitate to talk about it now because the subject matter is so sensitive and so serious that I don't believe it's for public consumption. But because people keep asking me about it, I feel a need to address this once again. 6 months ago, when we found out about this, we called him, we talked to him, we talked to his wife. She told us that she was all alone and handling everything all by herself. And it became quickly evident to us that since they didn't have insurance and they didn't have access to the proper doctors, naturally, and even though all this nonsense has been going on for years, we jumped into action. We asked for his medical reports. We received those medical reports. We hand-delivered them to the best specialists in the country. Those specialists outlined a plan of action that would give him the best fighting chance. We miraculously found a treatment facility near our home that put him at the top of the list, and then we put down a deposit to secure that place. We were arranging to fly the two of them to our home privately so that she could be with him and not have to work and really just focus on his treatment. And in the midst of that, we received a very hostile phone call from his mother saying, "Do not contact him. He does not need your help." And I can only imagine that if that help came from me, that it would go against the strong narrative that's being pushed out there about me. So what are we doing? We're adhering to her wishes, because that's what she wanted, and we're staying out of it. And we're doing the only thing we can do, which is pray for him, which I hope you do too. Thanks.
I don't know how true that is. That just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because, at this point, your son is grown. Why would you need permission from your ex-wife having to do anything with your son? Your son is not under 18 anymore. So you telling me you did all this, you went through all this trouble, you called all these facilities, and just because your ex-wife said no, then you just stopped everything? I don't get that. But that's not my story to tell. I wasn't there. He says that he tried to end this feud to take care of his son and then walked away when he was rejected. That's not what I would do. That's not how I would handle that. But again, I'm not Brian McKnight. So whatever. Unfortunately, it's pretty moot at this point because here we are, right? Well, like I said, we don't know all of the details, but I did come across a video that was made by Brian McKnight's brother, Claude McKnight, and he just talked about what a great person that Nico was. And even though, he didn't get really deep into it, but he did mention that, or should I say more so insinuated that the rift between Brian and the sons were never resolved. This is what made me say that.
So all day, I said to myself I wasn't going to post about this. And as the day wore on, I realized that how could I not post about this? This morning I found out that my nephew, Niko McKnight, passed away. He'd been bravely battling cancer for the last 2 years or so. And I have a lot of feelings right now. I'm not going off a script or anything like that. I'm just gonna be raw with how I'm feeling. Niko was one of those amazing kids who was quirky and curious and ridiculously talented. Amazing singer, an amazing guitar player, had a great eye, was a photographer. And just one of those kids that, at least in my estimation, was somebody you always wanted to be around. And so it really sucks that he's no longer with us. And I will also say, probably one of the reasons why I wasn't going to post about it is I post a lot of things, but I don't post a lot of really, really serious subject things, or certainly family things. And I wanted to post this about Niko, about his legacy, about how amazing he is, and not about what some of you may have heard about, the family drama that has existed for quite some time in our family. I'm not here to discuss that or to talk about how that happened or why it happened. This is not the time or the place, but what I will say is, in any situation, there's always at least 3 sides to a story. There's my side, your side, and the truth. And the truth a lot of times is somewhere in between. So here's the thing. I don't know exactly what was going on there. I know what I've seen. I know what I've heard from all parties involved. And I try not to judge. I just try to be as loving to each person as I can be, because apparently there's so much hurt going on, or was so much hurt going on, that a lot of things didn't get resolved. And again, I want to go back to Nico. I know that kid had a lot inside, a lot eating at him for a long, long, long time. That may have contributed to what happened with him. What I do know is he's out of pain now. And so I can rejoice in the fact that he no longer has to go through the chemo and the radiation and everything else. But I just want to uplift that young man and say we will see him again one day. I love you, Nico. Uncle Claude.
Let me just say this, man. Let me just say this. I don't know who I'm talking to, but I'm talking to somebody that's going through this very thing right now. And I'm here to tell you, right here, right now, get your shit together, okay? Get it together. Life is way, way, way too short for us to be walking around here holding on to grudges. We say this every day. Tomorrow is not promised. Been walking around here your whole life with a chip on your shoulder, walking around here with unhealed emotional scars, and you think constantly putting a Band-Aid around it is going to fix what's broken, and it's not. It's just not. Whoever it is that you beefing with, whether it's a family member, a parent, a friend, whoever it is, make it right, man. Make it right. I don't care. I don't care if you wasn't in the wrong. I don't care if it wasn't your fault. Get it right. Get it together. Don't do it for them. Don't do it for them. Do it for you. Because I'm here to tell you, you will regret it. You will regret it when that opportunity is missed and it is no longer an option. That's why we as a collective is walking around out here completely fucked up, because we holding on to these unhealed emotional wounds and keep burying it and burying it and burying it, not thinking that it's affecting you in your everyday life, when them unhealed wounds is probably the main reason that you are as fucked up as you are right now. And that's real, man. That's just me giving you some tough love right now. Because like I said, once that option is no longer an option, you're going to have to deal with that by yourself. And now look at what Brian McKnight is having to deal with. Hopefully he can get it right with his other 2 children, with his son and his daughter, before that opportunity becomes missed once again and he never gets that chance. Put your pride aside, stop being a damn baby, and go give them a call. Okay? And if they don't want to be on board, and if they don't want to make it right and, be as forgiving, that's fine. That's fine. Still forgive them anyway. Forgive them anyway. They ain't got to know you forgave them. Just forgive them. Not for them, but for you. Because once you have forgiven them, that weight is lifted up off of your shoulders. And at least you can feel better about the fact that you did your part. I don't know why, but for some reason, as I started talking about this, I instantly went to Maya Campbell and everything that she's gone through and had to deal with over these last almost 20 years now. Her and her mother, B.B. Moore Campbell, had unresolved issues that was never addressed. And when her mom passed away, She was never the same after that. She was never the same after that. Now we look at her now. What was it, maybe about a month ago, maybe about a few weeks ago, she started, coming out on the gram, and she's looking great. She's looking, the best that she's ever looked. But just think about the struggle and think about everything that she went through before we even got to this point. And this isn't the end. She's an addict. So this is going to be a constant battle for her for the rest of her life. But the thing about it is that all of this really started to come about after she lost her mother. And I'm also thinking about DMX. Like, even though he and his mother did resolve their issues, but I do know that a lot of the demons that plagued his life had a lot to do with the relationship that he had with his mother growing up.
I remember a lot about my childhood. I used to get beat a lot of beatings.
Who was doing the beating?
My mother. If I did something wrong, her favorite thing was the extension cord. Well, she braided 3 of them together and would wait till I go to sleep until she was tired. I think that's why it's hard for me to sleep sometimes. And then this around and just gives me away anyway, you know what I'm saying? At 7, and I got put in institutions. I go in the cottage with the kids, and she leaves, and when she came back, I'm expecting, a few hours later, she comes back, I'm like, all right, I'm ready to get out of here, I don't know anybody here, I'm like, and she's like, all right, see you in 3 months. I think that's when the problem was born. Pretty much said, you know what, everything and everybody, but it hurt. It hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to say, mommy.
Yeah.
I wanted to say that word. And me, like, mommy. Not my mother, I wanted to say mommy. Like, I just wanted to say hi to her.
It's okay if I put my hand on you.
You thought I had abandoned you? Come on, tell me. Tell me. You thought I had abandoned you? Why would I do that to you?
I don't know. I don't know why.
Remember? And I cried all the way home that I had to leave you there like that.
And even in his case, it turned him into an addict. That was also a constant struggle for him, and unfortunately, it caused him to lose his life. And you know what? I'm not even saying that person that you beefing with, I'm not even saying that relationship is going to be back to what it was, or it should be back to what it was. It may never be. But just let your mind and your heart be at peace with it. Please don't take that hurt and pain and anger with you to your grave. All right, y'all. So I just wanted to say that. The Lord just put it on my heart to say that to somebody. I don't know who I was talking to, but hopefully it resonated with you. But anyway, if you have made it this far, please do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you all in the next video. Rest in peace to Mr. Nicholas McKnight. My name is Cree Cree. Y'all be easy.